Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't know this, but it is a billion times better to be a girl now than when I was a girl.
Right. There you go. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about.
There's no comparison.
Right.
I mean, there's not, and it's not good. It's not perfect, but it's a billion times better.
No, keep talking, honey.
I mean, there's no comparison. I mean,
You're right.
when I was a girl, if you asked to do something, and your parents said no, and you say why, the answer very frequently was because you're a girl.
Yes.
And the response was, oh.
Right.
I mean, my response wasn't like to start,
right.
a feminist movement. My response was, oh.
Right. No.
I mean, did that make it? Oh, okay. The kids aren't listening anymore. Got it. It's like, no, maybe I'm just, being a little tongue in cheek. But okay, this is Frank Leibowitz, trying to say that it's better to be a girl right now. And I just didn't grow up like this. Like, it's funny. I did get the whole, it's different for your brother because he's a boy, but I still never felt like I was less of a girl because my parents said that to me. So I don't know.
And that was common.
That, I just object to this thing. Steven Pinker, I stole this from, I give him credit, but I did a thing about it. He called this progressophobia, that there is something on the left that does not want to admit progress because somehow it equates with, but we should be doing more. Yes, of course, we should always be doing more. Can we just be adults and just...
Well, it's not progressophobia. It is hustler's mentality. I have to have a supply for there to be a demand. If I tell you that the supply is dwindling, there's not going to be a demand for me. I mean, that's pretty obvious here. I don't even think that this is something hard to figure out. I don't know why Bill Maher is having a hard time with this. By the way, guys, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe and the notification bell. Thank you to every eye that lands on these videos. But this is what it is. I got to tell you, the race hustlers, I mean, that's just backward. I mean, the fact that Al Sharpton is still walking around here like a walking corpse the other day, God forgive me, I saw him, like, his hair was looking weird, the whole bit. The fact that he's still walking around here talking about overcoming, it's like, maybe we should do mental health assessments on these people, but he gets paid to do it. Racism cannot go away. If it goes away, what is Al Sharpton going to do? What is Dr. Umar going to do? What are these people going to do?
Just imagine that as we begin the conversation, we've already agreed on that, as we have. We should always be doing more. We are not perfect, and we are not just enough. There's a lot more work to do, a lot more. And there's this other side of the story, which should be celebrated. I mean, progressives, it's right in your name. That's what you should be celebrating, progress.
I know we don't agree on this, and I also didn't mention this.
But you just said you...
But I agree on that.
Oh.
But this, which I'm about to say. I know, last night I did a speaking date here.
If you guys ever have a moment, God forgive me what I'm about to say next. Look up Fran Lebowitz when she was younger. It's crazy how different. Like, I don't think that people need to age like that. God forgive me, God forgive me.
In LA. And I take questions from the audience for 1 hour. First question, shouted at me. Why did Bill Maher say this and this and this, which I didn't see you say because I didn't see the show. And he's becoming a conservative. And why is that happening? I said, first of all, I'm not in charge of Bill Maher. Okay? Like, he does not consult me on what his opinions are. But I said, and second of all, as far as I know, Bill Maher is not a Democrat. He's a libertarian. Is that not true?
I don't ascribe to any of those names. I've never formally said I was a Democrat except maybe once when Trump was in office, and I was like, okay, we can't fuck around anymore, whoever the Democrat is. And look, I voted mostly for the Democrat. I would say more than libertarian. The Joe Rogan, I heard him talk about it, and very appreciative. He was saying, old school liberal is really the right term.
Well, that's what I am. I always say,
and it is.
I'm a very conventional...
And that's a very different thing than woke. And if you want to be ignorant and think being old school liberal is the equivalent of conservative, you're naive about politics, and you're tribal, which is our big problem.
But the problem is people live by labels so much that they can't see anything unless it's a label. Like, I know that when I talk, people try to label me all the time, especially on Twitter. Like, if especially on Twitter as a Black woman, if if I even say something against Trump, it's not against Trump the person too, by the way. Like if I say anything like, oh look, I don't trust this thing that's happening here or whatever, they'll be like, oh, woke people like you, you're just a liberal leftist. And I'm like, dang, like meanwhile, like I have pictures with MAGA hat on and everything. And sometimes I'll search for it. I don't do it all the time. I'd be there answering to these type of nutty responses all day long. But I'll post a picture of me like with the MAGA hat on at a Trump rally. Like, yeah, you can't peg me, bro. Like, you're not gonna be able to figure out who I am. I am my own person. I don't answer to these labels. Okay, I answer to God, the truth. That's it.
No, I'm not a conservative. I'm always going to call it as I see it, always have, and it always has been somewhat from both sides. But yes, the left is nuttier now than they used to be by a good measure, and
Yes,
they're
but
doing.
the right is much worse.
They are too. I agree.
No, not much worse
And
than they used to be.
I
But
don't-
much worse.
And I don't fail to make that point.
I'm gonna tell you why she says the right is much worse. I'm gonna tell you why both of them say it, but especially her. She's Jewish, so there's a lot of like Christian, you know what I mean, stuff in the right, and so I've learned that this past year that like that's why they fear like the right so much. Like that is not, of course, not all Jews, right? But one like her will say, the right is much worse because they're Christian. The right is looked at, conservatives are looked at as people who go to church, right? And so religion is a problem for somebody like her. Okay. So that's why they fear so much. But it's not all of them who are like that. But that's why she goes straight there.
Right.
So anyone
I
who
was not
wants
the
to-
one who said.
No, I know.
Why did Bill Maher say this?
And I'm so sorry that you have to answer for me. It's so
And it didn't
ridiculous.
just happen that night. Sometimes in the street, people stop me.
The
and go,
street?
Why did Bill Maher say this? And I say, I don't know. Why don't you ask him
Stop.
why he said
You
this?
know what? I would say to those people, if you don't have an open mind, don't watch the show, because that's who I do it for. Really, I could take it. I have lost some audience, and they're
Actually, and for Bill Maher too, because he straight says he hates Christians. All right.
tribal people, and it's fine. It's like good riddance. I'm not interested in people like that. I'm interested in people, especially the ones who are like, you know what? I am mostly in the liberal bubble. It probably would be good to hear another point of view. And again, I do most of my material against the right, but doesn't matter. They are in the tribal bubble of where I only want to hear what I already think I know, and I don't want to have my side challenged because the other side is so bad. The other side is so bad. I still want to hear the whole truth.
I don't. Because it's not the truth. If it was the truth, I would.
Oh.
How do you know it's not the truth? Okay.
But
Well,
I said to someone recently, I didn't used to hate Republicans. I just disagreed with them. There's a difference.
Why does she hate them now anymore? I'm telling you, like, it's that Christian nationalism. Rob Reiner did a whole movie about it. I mean, Rob Reiner, really?
But the people who are Republicans now, I mean, professional Republicans, they're nothing like Republicans used to be.
Of course, they're not.
Guys, can you please?
And they're basically.
Neither are the woke.
And-
Anything like Democrats.
But here's the thing. This woke stuff, I mean, the reason that it bothers people so much, I think, is because there's a lot of silly stuff attached to it. I agree.
Oh.
Some of it is just silly.
It's silly stuff
Yes,
that actually
but the
affects a
center
lot
of
of
it
lives.
is not silly. The center of it is real.
No, I wouldn't call it the center. The past of it. When the word was first out there, it meant alert to injustice. Yes, great. No one can argue with that. Certainly not.
I do appreciate that he said that because I used to use that word all the time. And then these people came and they destroyed my word. Okay. Because I was woke. And hell, I am still woke. Not this woke nonsense that you guys are talking about.
Me, certainly has been a theme of mine since I was on television beginning in the 90s. So, okay, it morphed into something that was an eye roll.
Yes, but not all of it.
Not all of it.
I mean, to me, I don't really care.
But enough of it, right? And so the Democrats took it too far. Everything became identity politics. Everything is a protected class. Everything is a this, that, and the third. You can't drop a fern in a tree somewhere without being a social justice issue, right? And so it does come back to that. I will say that, there are some things that are characterized in a collective group. The left and progressives have absolutely lost their mind. And people are tired of it. And now we see the pendulum will swing, whether it's organically or not, to the other side in a very, very visceral way, a quick way, not visceral. It'll be quick. And it is what it is. So